Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Shauna. Let's get into this. So, hi guys, how are you doing? I hope all is well. Of course, we are still phasing through the Zodiac / horoscope segment. And yesterday, we only talked about Taurus and its ruling planet, which is Venus, but one segment per sign is crazy, so we're just gonna use this segment to go through it. And just as a heads up, these segments may actually be about, I want to say, a little longer than 15 minutes. The usual segments are 15 minutes long, but this type of information calls for a lot more details to be discussed, and it's just a lot of information, okay? So bear with me. If you guys are tuning in, then you would know that we are going to be actually discussing the different types of astrology. Now, what I think is interesting is that Western astrology is considered more modern, which is our astrology. Now, Western astrology is based off the 12 constellations that can be observed from the Western Hemisphere. So that would explain why in the East they rarely use this system of astrology, whereas Vedic is more predictive and comprehensive. It uses numbers to come up with calculations, and those calculations are what's used to make the predictions, right? Whereas in astrology, Chinese astrology, it divides the signs by the years, and then the Western divides the signs by the months, right? These systems can be ancient, traditional, or modern styles of astrology. They have a lot of differences that are really significant, and those differences mainly are pertaining to how everything is interpreted and what everything can actually mean. Now, the systems itself, as far as the planets goes, are still there, but there are a few differences as to what ancient, traditional, and modern styles of astrology would say in regards to a house, a zodiac sign, and its ruling planet. Now, remember I said that we had discussed yesterday Taurus and its ruling planet, which is Venus, so we're not going to really talk about that one, but we're going to go in order of the birth chart and skip over Taurus, right? If you wanted to look at a birth chart or learn to understand it, or the houses or whatever this chart, if you will, encompasses, then just understand that this chart that we're studying is a Western astrology type of ordeal, right? There are other types of charts, but for the sake of information and the podcast, and not wanting to misinform people, I want it to be understood that this system is based off of research in congruence to modern Western astrology, okay? And we're gonna go into the differences when we talk about the other systems, right? But like I said, I just wanted to go into the planets first, because when we talk about planets, these planets are respected in each of the systems, right? So when you look at Aries, the first house, the planet is Mars. This particular planet is about mystery. It has 2 moons. This energy is about actual raw energy, sex, vitality, and your desires. And it's vast in iron and nickel, and it's the 4th planet from the sun, and it's the 3rd largest planet. Gemini. This ruling planet is Mercury. It doesn't have a moon, and it's full of different metals and different silicones. And I just want to state that I'm not going to go into too much detail, because we're going to save the detail for later when we start looking at the different systems of astrology and actually start looking at birth charts and start pulling up birth charts. I'm going to do like 2 mock birth charts, but just for now, I just wanted to kind of, like I said, go into this. So when we go into the different houses, into the different systems, we have already laid the foundation of the actual planets that are related to the different zodiac signs, or the different animals, or the different time frames, right? Because Vedic is time, Chinese is also time, but it's the animals, and then the whole overall Western hemisphere, right? But like I said, the main constant across those 3 types are the planets. Now, we did talk about locational astrology, and we went into how it's pretty much basically the same thing before geographic locations. We're going to also throw that in there, right? But let's just get back to the planets because I'm getting off topic. Gemini, the ruling planet is Mercury, doesn't have a moon, full of metals and silicone. Okay, I said that. What's next? Mercury is dealing with, it's actually the smallest planet. It's the closest and the fastest to the moon. It deals with the energy of intelligence, and it's considered the most mysterious because it's one of those planets that we know the least about, which is weird because it's closest to the sun, right? It also deals with analytics. And this planet is considered the messenger of gods. Now, if you know anything about astrology, you would know that the Virgo is considered to be the virgin of the horoscope, and then the Gemini is considered to be the twin, which also duality deals with, God and things of that nature. We're going to get into the logistics later, but I just want to go over the planets first. Venus deals with love, beauty, prosperity, and it's the second from the sun. Doesn't have a moon either, and it's full of carbon dioxide. Okay, now next we're gonna go on now, and I also wanted to be clear that some of these signs share planets, and they're all opposing elements, and I would like to point that out, but I'm gonna get to that point later. But so far, what we've discussed, Gemini and Virgo both share Mercury, right? They both share Mercury. I actually skipped, so let me go back because this is actually important. Cancer is the moon, right? So that deals with emotions, your instincts, your feelings. And what's crazy is this particular planet is very important because not only is it the one half, it's the opposite of the moon, it's also responsible supposedly for our emotions. So you know how they say the eclipse has a lot to do with our emotions and the tides and how everything is all connected. Don't let me lose you, okay? This moon also, the sightings of the moon also determines the month of Ramadan, right? So just keep that in mind. We're going to talk about all of this later. Now, when you look at the sun represents Leo. It's the largest planet. This planet is related to your will, your sense of self, and the ego, right? Next, we have Scorpio. Scorpio too shares a planet with Aries being fire, Scorpio being water. But Scorpio has 2 ruling planets, which is Mars and Pluto. We already discussed Mars. Pluto is actually considered to be a dwarf planet. In 2006, it disappeared and then reappeared, but it was not the same size when it returned. So it's actually no longer considered an actual planet. This energy is dealing with sex, death, transformation, birth, rebirth. And obviously sex, death, and birth are all intertwined and connected, right? Mars is actually also considered the planet of war. Now, if you know any Aries or any Scorpio, then you would know that they will give you hell. Okay, they will give you hell. All right. So yeah. Next is Jupiter. Jupiter is also another planet that governs 2 zodiac signs, with Sagittarius being one. This particular planet deals with religion, higher learning, wealth. It is the largest planet in the system, and it is about growth, prosperity, miracles, good fortune, healing. This planet is shared with Pisces, but we'll get to Pisces in 1 second. Capricorn shares this planet Saturn with Aquarius. Saturn is it's the 6th planet from the sun. It's full of metallic and liquid hydrogen, and also liquid helium. Yeah, if you know anything about Capricorns and you actually looked up hydrogen and helium, then you will understand why that's so crazy. Okay, so yeah, Saturn is a ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius. Aquarius also has Uranus as a ruling planet, which deals with the energy of rebelling and upheavals. Breakthroughs, breakdowns, and being rebuilt. Now, if you know any Aquarius, then you know that they can be probably one of the most problematic zodiac signs. So it would make sense why that zodiac would be dealing with that type of energy from their ruling planet. Now, we already said Pisces deals with Jupiter, and they also deal with Neptune, which is the 4th largest planet, and it's the twin of Uranus. Now, what's going on here is that planets can lay domicile or stay home, and what happens is it tends to maximize the energy of that sign. So let's say if you are a Scorpio, right, and your Scorpio is in Mars or Pluto, then that house would be maximized to the fullest of its potential because the planet is laying domicile or home, right? It's in its home. It's in its house. So I just want you guys to be mindful of, how some of these planets are ruling more than one zodiac sign, because these elements are opposing elements. And in theory, when you see opposites, you can think of balance, right? So when you hear things like opposites attracts, then it really rings true here, because too much of anything is never good, even good things, right? So before we end this, I just wanted to make sure I reminded you guys to do your own research in regards to Western, Vedic, and Chinese astrology. And remember that there's many sets within these types of systems of astrology, and there are also forms of ancient, traditional, and modern astrology. So each of these houses or systems of astrology have many variations within that particular sect. So don't forget to do your own research. If you are a particular zodiac sign, I literally said every sign except for Taurus, because we discussed Taurus yesterday. But like I said, I don't want to have 12 episodes for 12 signs, and then we're still trying to phase out of the zodiac series. So I just wanted to do all of the planets in one segment, so we could move on, because this horoscope and zodiacs is a lot of information, and this is kind of tipping over into astrology. So I also don't want to do that, because that's 2 different topics. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go, because we're gonna be coming up on 15 minutes. So yeah, I just wanted to drop that info so we can move forward. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed your day. I hope your weekend was well. I hope you had a good day. You know, start your week out good. Monday is always the best day to invest a lot of energy into. I hope you ate something good. I hope you get your rest. And yeah, I love y'all. Drink your water, eat your fruit, sip your tea, because it's free. And I'm out. Love y'all. Peace.